Hey everyone, welcome back. So StatueFest on stage, Put a Woman on a Pedestal, presented by NSKIP, is holding live performances of theatrical monologues celebrating statue-worthy women. The production is crafted by a diverse group of playwrights that highlight women's roles in securing civil rights, women's rights, gender barriers, the arts, and more. The production is also made possible by the New York City Artists Corpse Grants Initiative and ASAP Artist Space at Pregones. And here to tell us more, we welcome director Allison Astor-Vargas and co-producer, writer, performer Janis Astor del Valle. Hello, ladies, welcome.
Hey.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
It has been a while since we've seen each other.
Yes, too long.
But I gotta say, I was so excited when I saw you on the list, and I love the work that you do. I've always loved all the work that you ladies do, both of you. And now you have a huger group now, and I love this concept. And please, 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 I know that you've been doing this virtually, and now it's going on stage, and you just received this grant. I think it's so important that our women be recognized. So whomever wishes to go first, just share how this all came about and came into fruition.
Sure. Well, I'll tackle a little bit of the history. So about 3 years ago, the other three producers and I, Cindy Cooper, Deborah Savage, and Cheryl Davis, we were part of another playwrights collective that was at that time called 10 by 10, and it was started by another wonderful playwright, Gail Kriegel. She brought us all together to try to brainstorm how we could write short plays in response to an article that had appeared in the New York Times that asked the readers basically to nominate who they thought was worthy of a statue, what woman was worthy of a statue. And this was, again, in response to the fact that, you know, there's all these statues, monuments all over New York City, you know, a handful maybe of women. So we were working on that project, and then we did a reading of some of the short plays that we had all done, but then the four of us decided we wanted to keep working and maybe create monologues and ask other women to nominate who they thought should be worthy of a statue. And lo and behold, we put out the call to put a woman on a pedestal. You know, if you had your druthers, who would you put on a pedestal? And we got an incredible response. And the result was about 25 monologues celebrating women I had never even heard of. That's the thing. It's been such an educational experience for many of us. And so we did a series of Zoom readings last spring from March through June. We had a great response from the community. And then we got this grant and the opportunity, thanks to the City Artist Corps and thanks to Pregones PRTT for giving us the ASAP grant to be able to bring the statues to life, so to speak, on stage on the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater stage in Manhattan. I will say, back last spring before the lockdown, we were brainstorming it was Valentine's weekend. We were gathered in Deborah's place on the Upper West Side, and we were brainstorming. At that time, we thought we were going to be doing an immersive theater project, around the statues. And we had these big dreams of doing it in a museum or maybe the New York Historical Society. And we were like all excited, and then boom, lockdown. Right. And we had to switch gears, and Zoom offered us the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, but you know what? It's all good, because I think we all learned something with regards to our abilities, right? To continue forging forward and just pretty much acclimating to the new norm, right? And you still kept it going, and so here we are now, and so Allison, Directora Allison.
Well, Janis has been my artistic partner for many, many years, and she asked me to direct her, and hers was going up in June. So I did a version, the June chapter of StatueFest, and it was an exhilarating experience because I too, like Janis, woefully, there's so many women that I did not know about. And in researching the women, You know, I've come to see that they've been erased from history, omitted from history, and even the way, you know, you can go on Wikipedia, for example, and they use words like distrusted, plagiarized, oh, you know, someone was a workers' rights person or civil rights, women's rights, somehow the word communist was thrown in there, amateur, you know, and I'm like, why are we still talking about these women in this regard? So these monologues, they seek to, you know, correct this, you know, their omission from the history books. And it's really very empowering to hear what these women did, no matter what, you know, if they were artists or scientists, photographers. What they were considered doing was ordinary, but it really was extraordinary. Some of these women, you're talking about the turn of the 20th century, and they dared to have a commitment ceremony with their female partner. They dared to wear men's pants. They dared to join the civil rights movement or whatever it was.
Right.
And you just learn so much, actually. You know, Frances Perkins, the mastermind behind Social Security, you know, get the credit, FDR gets the credit. Now, my mom, she said, no, I've heard of her. I was like, I don't think I've heard of her. She's kind of important. We can't retire without this woman.
Right.
You know?
It's, you know, it's interesting because, you know, yeah, I mean, look, that's the role she played and she served. And I got to tell you, you know, when I started reading everything, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to craft this history lesson to prepare for this interview? I mean, the names on this list, I mean, we didn't mention that your story is about Antonia Pantoja, who is the founder of Aspira. And the other thing we didn't mention is that, you know, the entire lineup is BIPOC, right? Because it's got every single race in it from what I read. I mean, I'm going to do the best that I can to just read them out really quickly before we run out of time. But I know we've got Luisa Capetillo, right? That's written by Rhina. And then you have Maria Irene Forns by Lorca Perez and Zora Neale Hurston by Cheryl L. Davis and Mabel Pinghua Lee by Lucy Wang and Dorothy Parker by Bev Thompson and Frances Perkins by Deborah Savage and Emma Stebbins by Heather Genvolianti. I hope I did that justice. Mary Lou Williams by Martine Saintville. And that's just the September 30th lineup. The October 1st lineup is Alice Austin by Fengad Gal, Ruth Bader Ginsburg by Cindy Cooper, Yuri Kochiyama by Christine Toy Johnson, Barbara McClintock, by Judith Pratt, Pauli Murray by Michael Angel Johnson, and I hope I said that right, and Antonia Pantoja by Janis Astor del Valle, and Maria Tallchief by Laura Chamas. And I needed to say all those names because when I started going through them, the first instinctively, I was like, okay, I got to start recognizing who these people are and why they are worthy of having statues. And I think it's important that we all do that.
Yes, and I think the audience will come away very empowered as well as enlightened. You know, I saw all the chapters of StatueFest on Zoom, and I was just amazed at how much I did not know of the women. But this is our chance to get their names back out there again.
It's lovely. And Janis, before we go, just share, you know, what you're looking to get out of this. I mean, obviously a statue is ideal, but I mean, that's probably going to take some time. But in the meantime, what do you hope to get out of this?
Absolutely. Well, we want to unearth the wondrous herstory of all these women, and we want to keep this going. So this is our first foray into live, you know, theater on stage, but we want to keep it going. And unfortunately, because of, you know, various constraints, mostly budgetary, we were only able to do 15 of the original 25 monologues, but we hope to bring the other 10 back in some fashion at some point and maybe keep going. You know, we have big dreams. The most important thing is really raising awareness and consciousness about these incredible contributions from women of all aspects of life and all fields. It's incredible. So I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to the future to keep it going and even solicit more monologues.
Yeah, no, It's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful way to educate our community, and thank you, ladies, for being that voice for the women, and not only in talking about the women, but empowering them, and also creating a space for us to just be together and stand in our power, and our contributions.
Yeah, they're still so relevant. No matter what time period they were doing their thing, you can bring it right back to today. So, I'm very proud to be part of this project, and I hope y'all come down and check out our women.
That's what's up. Thank you for bringing it to our viewers. Janis Astor-Vargas, co-producer, writer, performer, and also we have Allison Astor-Vargas, who is the director of Antonia Pantoja, one of the many monologues that are going to be featured in StatueFest on stage, Put a Woman on a Pedestal, and that's going to be presented at Pregones PRTT in their Midtown Theater, which is located at 304 West 47th Street in Manhattan, and that's happening on September 30th and October 1st, and tickets are free, and basically you can visit them on Facebook and Instagram at StatueFest 2021 to get the updates as well as the link for the tickets. All right, Bobby C's weekly sports roundup is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.